Welcome back to another Overwatch Coach VOD review. Today we're going to be reviewing a Gold 2 Mercy on Circuit Royale. So let's get into their introduction. Hello, I played Overwatch 1 for maybe a month or so back in 2019, but really picked it up when Overwatch 2 came out and have put in a couple hundred hours since. Wow, that's a lot of hours. I've been consistently swapping between a number of heroes, admittingly more than I should, but Mercy is where I always come back to. I played mostly arcade modes to start. The 3v3 Elim is by far my favorite mode to play, so I fear I've picked up a bunch of bad habits as I'm getting more into competitive. Last season, I peaked at Gold 1, always getting close to Plat, but getting streaks of bad games and dropping in an instant and never reaching it. This season, I am Gold 2, and I feel like I have the mechanics of Mercy down pretty well, but the game sense is lacking. From reading a bunch of other content on here, I know I'm the problem, so I was hoping someone could review this game, which I feel I did very well on, but also know I could have been punished for in higher ranks. For example, I made some risky reses, healed Bob, blah, blah, blah. Expected I was probably way too vulnerable at times too, so any help or advice is appreciated. Thanks for taking the time. All right, so let's get into this here. Let me make, okay, yeah, my pen's working. I forgot to test that before turning it on. All right, so this is our Mercy. So in terms of playing Mercy on this map and with this team comp, it's not terrible and it's not the best. It's kind of in the middle. It's like, it's not the worst pick in the world. Obviously you're meant to pocket the Ashe, which you're already doing, so that's a good sign of things. After the Ashe, there's really not a lot for you on Mercy here. I mean, yeah, you can throw some heals to the Ramatra if he's not in too deep, or the Ana. Sim, I feel like, is going to be kind of on the deeper end of things, more in the brawling sense, where you're probably going to be playing a little further back with the Ashe. So, hopefully your Ashe is good. If the Ashe is good, then I don't see a problem with this. If your Ashe struggles, then that's where this might compound and turn into something worse. But since you mentioned that you mainly play Mercy, but you swap to other heroes and stuff like that, what I would recommend you do is try to pick up like a core of 3 heroes. So if Mercy's one of them, other core heroes that you might kind of gravitate to would be, since Mercy's kind of like a pseudo between off healer and main healer, depending on how you play her, she can kind of do both. Kiriko kind of fits that bill, but she's pretty difficult to play. And if you're kind of gravitating to Mercy, a lot of people that play Mercy tend to gravitate to Moira. And then the other hero I would potentially recommend would be maybe like a Baptiste, or maybe like Lucio or Zen, somebody like that, just to kind of have like a main healer in your repertoire, an off healer, and then somebody that's kind of pseudo in between it all. But Mercy's she's not a bad hero to play. She gets better in the higher ranks, assuming you're playing her correctly. But when you're in gold and lower, you might find it more difficult, because then you're just reliant on lower skill DPS players to win the game. So that's why I say Moira, Bap, maybe a Zen or a Lucio, somebody that can also help deal damage, maybe get some picks, that kind of thing. But let's dig into your Mercy here and see what we... Oh, I'm on the pen. That's why this isn't working. Delete the dot. Zoom in on you, and let's get into it.
1. Attackers incoming.
So I would say pocket the Ashe, but if you want to get a few damage boosting potential shots on the Sim or the Ramatra, just because you're all kind of playing super close together, I wouldn't really take issue with that, just because they're probably not going to get a lot of pocketing anyway. So if you want to throw a little love their way just in the very beginning, but yeah, switching more over to the Ashe, and then just making sure they stay topped off. And I would keep that healing beam just kind of moving around a little bit. when that shield goes down, which it's down right now. So one thing I would suggest in terms of positioning would be play more up here. And the reason for that is you first started here, and if they come through this door, all they got to do is turn around and you're like right there. If they were like Cassidy, or they are running Reaper, so if Reaper got like a really close shot off on you, it would hurt. And you don't have a lot of great options for running, flying away. Playing over here is better. However, the shield is down and Widow could potentially get a shot off on you. She could still potentially do it up here too. And actually, now that I see where she's at, the spot you're at would be better, because what I was going to originally say was play up, maybe like up here. I was going to say here, but then the Widow would see you. So then playing back here or on the staircase is probably going to be your best bet. It would be nice if the Ashe fell back with you. But yeah, it's a little bit of a rough spot right now when you don't have that shield. Okay, Widow's dead, so now you're in a good spot again.
Damage intensified.
Exactly what I needed.
Pocketing Ramatra is okay for right now.
I get the idea.
Devour them.
Heal the Ramatra. Once he goes into that armored mode, assuming your Anna's not being like dove on and she's capable of healing him, I would leave that to the Anna. But when he's in his regular mode and he's a little bit more of a squishier tank, that's where I would say focus on healing your Ramatra in a situation similar to this. But once he gains armor and he hulks up, let Anna deal with it, and then just go back to your DPS. Okay. So the one thing I'd say here, and I don't know, I can't tell if you do this or not, but if you're going to go in for the res in a situation like this, call it out so that way the tank can cover you. Because yeah, if that Widow were a better shot, you probably would have been dead there.
Checking in. Not even you deserve death.
So one thing I would like to see a little bit more of is you getting more airtime. You're very grounded. Yeah, there you go. Now you're getting a little bit of airtime.
Heroes never die.
Get up in the air, up in the air, up in the air. Fly up, fly up.
Meteor strike. Safe with me.
To my will.
Personne n'échappe à mon regard.
Sniper. Let me fix you up.
So, okay. If Bob is low, or if you see Bob getting a lot of incoming damage coming his way, that's where you maybe throw some healing his way. When he's already basically like, 90%, something like that, and there's maybe one person shooting at him, don't worry about it. Damage boost Bob is fine. Otherwise, damage boost your Ramatra or heal your Ramatra or your Ashe. Your Ashe is pretty low too. I would not be at all worried about what this Bob is doing when you've got low HP teammates.
Enhancing your strength. Let me in for the punch.
I think this is a console game. Just from the way your movements and the way you're looking around, this looks like a joystick to me.
You call it? Let me see what I can do. I am empowering you.
Together, we are unstoppable.
Yeah, there you go. Get some airtime. Be in a hard to hit area. Okay, so once he's in that Hulk mode, let Anna deal with it, and then just start damage boosting or healing a DPS. Let's go into this for a second, just because this is a pretty short game anyway. So we gotta stretch it out just a little bit. So there's a division of labor in your supports. Anna is going to focus primarily on your Ramatra. You're primarily focused on the Ashe, and then a secondary on Sim, and then also a secondary on Sim for the Ana. Obviously, you'll heal the Ramatra a little bit here and there, and obviously the Ana is going to heal the Ashe a little bit here and there. But the division essentially goes when you're Mercy with an Ana, you pocket the DPS, you let the Ana worry about the tank, and that's the division of labor until something happens in the middle of it all that might call for a change up or something. But in a simple setup where two teams are about to clash, everybody's alive, everybody's kind of situated, don't worry about what the tank is doing too much. The only caveat that I will throw in there is if the tank starts taking a ton of damage and the Ana, for whatever reason, can't keep up, and then maybe you throw a little extra HP their way, or if the Ana's got her ult and you need ult charge, then that might be an excuse to, okay, you start healing the tank a little extra, build up your ult charge because the Ana doesn't need it, and then until she pops nano or something. So another caveat to that would be, like, if you're playing Mercy and your DPS are just absolute potatoes, and they can't throw a shot into the ocean, but the tank is doing well, okay, then maybe certain things like that might call for a little bit of a change up. So yeah, good res. You use the car as cover. I think better DPS maybe punish you for that one, but I think for the lobby you're in, it's fine. The car doors were covering you to some extent. You might play that one a little bit lower as you begin to climb up. That would really be the only thing I would kind of throw in there as an alternate suggestion. Heal your Sim. Get some damage boost out there. Damage. Oh wait, he's not. I thought he was ulting for a second. Heal, Sim. For some reason I thought Ramatra was ulting, or that would be another excuse to pocket your tank, is if the Ramatra's ulting. Ramatra's ult is definitely worth pocketing to every support's best ability. Ramatra has a pretty strong ultimate, obviously not as strong as they used to be, but it's still, when used correctly, a very good ultimate when supported and timed correctly. So they barely pushed it anywhere. So yeah, this is I noticed like halfway into the intro, this is only a 7-minute game, so this is going to be a very short one.
Ready for that. 5, 4, 3, 2.
So, all right, slight change up in team comp. So let's break this down a little bit. So Kiriko and Mercy, in my opinion, are both pseudo in the off heal, main heal category. So Kiriko and Mercy together, I'm fine with it. I don't think it's the greatest combination, but there are 100% worse combinations out there to be had. So, it's kind of team comp dependent on how this one breaks down on a division of labor. So it's hard to just flat out say you should do this, they should do that, and that's it. So typically how I would like to see that one work is if your DPS are playing hit scan style characters, sniper types, that sort of thing, the Mercy is the off healer, and the Mercy would then pocket the DPS. However, if you're playing, let's say, like Torb, Sim, May, something, you know, something like that. That's not like Sombra would be another good one to throw in there. I'm drawing a blank on Junkrat would be another one. You know, characters that don't necessarily benefit from like a hardcore pocket scenario. Then the Mercy might want to swap over to pocketing the tank and then letting the Kiriko focus a little bit more on healing the DPS. In a case like this, you're kind of in a mixed bag. So I would say pocket the DPS first and see what your Kiriko does. And if your Kiriko, I feel like most Kirikos in the lower to mid-level ranks are probably going to focus more on healing the tank than the DPS. So I think it would be safer as a Mercy player in a comp like this to worry more about the DPS. But like I said, it is comp specific. And it might be something you got to work out with your Kiriko, because your Kiriko might have a mind of their own or not share necessarily in what I'm suggesting. But I am a hardcore Kiriko player these days, and when I'm grouped with the Mercy, I pay heavy attention to what the Mercy's looking to pocket, and I pay attention to my team comp, and then I kind of try to figure out where my role is going to be to fit in on all that. And I would suggest, when you're in that scenario, looking similarly into that. Kind of pay attention to what your Kiriko does, what they're healing, also what your DPS are doing, and just kind of work it out that way. Because it is 100% not super cut and dry. Yeah, I don't know what the hell that soldier's doing. You should be able to res that, though. Okay, good. That Anna could have punished you. I say you should have been able to res that, but okay. Oop. Okay, she just used her sleep dart. Imagine she kept it, and as you res, she could have slept you right there. I saw that like after the fact, but so when you come out, just assess what's going on and make sure that, because a better Anna there probably punishes you. Because even if she doesn't sleep you there, she easily could have killed you if she just scoped in and focused you down. It's only 3 shots to kill you from an Anna perspective. So I missed that at first, but yeah, that actually was a dangerous res. Luckily though, lower level game and the Anna's not paying any attention. So to any support players that like to play Anna and you're in a position like that, punish that, because that was punishable.
Our combined strength is quite impressive.
So yeah, I mean, this was 100% not the greatest game to VOD review. Normally you want to see something a little longer, more opportunity to see, mistakes, bad habits, that kind of a thing. This was an extremely short one. So just watch the reses. I'll just say fly. Oh god, my Y is all screwed up. Fly more. You were a little on the grounded side on defense a little bit. And that frankly, because it's such a short game, we're just going to leave it on these two. And yeah, maybe pick a longer game next time to get VOD reviewed, so we can see more in terms of, good things you've done, bad things you've done, things that can be corrected, that kind of thing. So yeah, this was an extremely short one, but thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you on the next one.